Hello, everybody. It's Cheryl from Cheryl's Organic Food Forest. In this episode, I'm going to share with you how I cook my mixed spicy greens. And I'm also going to share with you how I pressure can them for storage. Now, I want to say that please don't follow my directions exactly. Follow the manufacturer of your canner or your expert books out on the market, like the one I'm showing you from Balls. Hey gardeners, it's about to go down in Cheryl's kitchen. Here are a lot of the greens that I harvested. And I have more in the sink. I have quite a few in the sink. And I'm going to start cutting them up. This is the second time I've washed them, so I'm going to start cutting them up. And I will be cooking them with smoked turkey wings. The turkey wings cooking. And I will make sure that each jar gets some of this juice for flavoring as well as some of the turkey meat. When cutting up your greens, you can cut the stems, remove any bad parts, and because they are very tender. See that? Real tender, so you can cut all of it and use all of it. Because my greens were under the insect netting, I didn't have any bugs or insects on them, so they were very easy to clean and to chop up. The collards and kale, I chop them up a little bit finer than the turnips, mustards, and mustard spinach because they cook down real quickly and are more tender. And the Swiss chard, those little orange pieces that you see is Swiss chard, it can be cut into larger pieces. So anyway, I mixed all of these greens together and then I put them in a large pot, and I didn't add hardly any water at all because I'm sure you know that the greens, just like cabbage, makes a lot of liquid. So to prevent them from being too watery, I don't add that much liquid. I use the liquid from the turkey wings. Two sinks full of greens in this large stock pot. And I'm going to let them boil and then reduce the temperature after I put the top on. There we go. Okay, guys, now I want to share with you what I add to my greens to season them. Now, I usually add garlic, but I don't like how the garlic tastes after a year or so in the candy jars. So I didn't add any garlic to this. If I was eating it fresh, I would add garlic. But anyway, I add 1/2 cup of red pepper flakes. That's what you see in that container. I just tore the label off and added my own homegrown pepper flakes. I added 2 tablespoons of monk fruit sweetener. Monk fruit sweetener is all natural. It was purchased off of Amazon.com. For those of you that are on the keto diet, it's keto friendly. I'm not on keto, but I have, for health reasons, have to watch my intake of sugar and salt. So that's why I chose this sweetener that my sister recommended to me, because it doesn't have any calories and any sugar and carbs, so it won't mess with my conditions. I use 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar. So it's really easy to remember. A tablespoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of monk fruit sweetener, 1/2 cup of vinegar, and if you like it really, really spicy and hot, I use 1/2 cup of red pepper flakes. Now, you can use as much or little as you choose. Turkey wings are boiling good, so now I'm going to reduce the heat. There we go, and put it on low and let it simmer. Next, I deboned the turkey wings and added all of my seasoning, and I'm letting it simmer for about 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to turn it off. The total cook time was about 25 minutes. Okay, guys, so now comes the pressure canning part. I sanitize my jars in hot water, a little Dawn dish soap, and a few drops of bleach. And then I boil rinse them off and put them in a pot of boiling water, turn them upside down to drain on a dishcloth, and then I filled my canning jars with the spicy greens. The next thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to try to do this because I'm doing this all on my own without anybody helping me, I immersed this stick, canning stick, in each jar to ensure that there aren't any air bubbles. Now, I've already done this, so I just wanted to show you how to do it. The next thing that I do is I wipe around the rim of each jar with some people use a towel, I use paper towel. I've done that already, but the second thing I do is I take vinegar and put it on a paper towel and I wipe the rims on the outside and across the top so that the lids will seal. Now, this isn't in the canning book. This is something that I do that I learned from my mother, who learned from her grandmother, and so I'm going to do that and I'll come back. So twice I went around each jar lid on the outside and across the top. Now, I want you to see this hot water that was boiling, and I used my lid. I call it picker upper. It's magnetic, and I placed the lid on the jar. Can you see that? I hope so. It's so hard to do this with one hand. So I'll do one, and then I'll take one ring and put it on, and they've been sanitized as well. And then you're going to close it just finger tight. Don't screw it on real tight, just a little. I'm doing this with one hand, so I'm gonna put the camera down. I'll come back and I'm gonna show you how I did all of it. I'm using the All-American canner. I think the model is 910, and as you can see, I've loaded them all up. Under the bottom of the cans, where I was filling them up, there obviously was a few greens. That's no problem. But something I learned is to put a little vinegar in the water. I'm going to put a tablespoon, and that's supposed to help keep your jars from getting cloudy. I mentioned something earlier about the air bubbles. That prevents you from having something that doesn't seal, so check for air bubbles. And put just a little vinegar in your water. You don't have to. Follow your manufacturer's directions. Please don't leave me a comment asking me why. I'm just telling you, this is what I've learned to keep it from the jars getting cloudy. My canner is coming to a boil. I'm going to secure it by putting these, I don't know what you call these things, braces in place. And after I have them all in, I'm going to now turn to the right, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And then once it comes to a boil, it'll start hissing right here. Once it comes to a boil, then I'm going to put my weight on it, which would be 10 pounds for what I'm canning. Read the directions of your canner and a canning book. So I'm going to tighten these all up and I'll be back. I'm still waiting for the water to come to a boil, and I realized that I failed to mention something right here. Where you see that indentation on this canner model, All-American canner, when you put the top on, make sure that the arrow lines up with this little groove here. It's very important, so you know you have your top on right. And then double check all of your bolts to make sure that they're as tight. Uh-oh, sorry, my finger was in the way. Make sure you double check the bolts and make sure that they're all tight. Okay, we'll be back. This pressure escape valve right here, I'm going to just video, and you're going to see water is going to start coming up to the surface. See that? Now is the time to put your, see if I can get it closer, your pressure on, and we're going to set it for 10 pounds. See the weight? The number 10. You're going to put it there. You don't have to tighten it up or anything. Just put it on. Now I'm going to move over here to this side, and you see you have a pressure gauge. And this gauge will go all the way to 10. And then after it gets there, that's when you're going to start timing for 90 minutes. You must can anything that has meat in it for 90 minutes on 10 pounds of pressure. Okay, so I'm going to come back after the 90 minutes are up. Remember, I'm not going to start my timer until that pressure gets up to 10. Where is it? There we go. I need to share something with you. You can hear the pressure building up in this canner. Did you hear that? Now, let's walk over here and let's look at the gauge. Right now, it's sitting between 5 and 10, approximately 7 pounds. So, once it reaches 10, I'll come back and I'll show you. You're going to have to lower your temperature on your stove to maintain that gauge at 10 for 90 minutes. And by the way, while I'm saying this to you, I think I need to inform those of you that have glass top stoves, you cannot use this heavy duty large all-American canner on it. It just won't work with a glass top. It'll break your glass top stove. So make sure that you research and find a canner that is compatible with the type of stove that you use. And earlier, I think I misspoke. I said it was a 910. Look right here, guys. It's a 921. Excuse, please, my senior citizen brain. You'll understand when you get there. Sometimes your senior citizen brain will go blank. Okay, so my 90 minutes timer went off, and what I did was I turned off the gas under this pot. And then when the pressure goes all the way down to 0, I will come back and remove the cap, and I'm going to show you when I do that. Hey everybody, so I've waited until the pressure is at 0. And now I'm going to remove the weight. And you can see and hear some of the pressure escaping that's still inside of here. Now, I can technically open this up now by removing the lefty-loosey. By removing these little toggles, whatever you want to call them. Because I just wait a long time. I don't get in any rush to do this. And then that's the last one. And then I make sure that there's no pressure coming out of there, and then you can remove the top. So I'm just going to move it just a little. And as you see, there's no big explosion or anything like that. Don't be afraid to can, guys. They make these canners much more proficient nowadays. And you can see it's still hot in there. So I'm going to remove each of the jars. What I use to remove the jars from the pressure canner, always have the black part up. It's made out of wood. And you just put this around the jar and lift it up. You don't ever have to worry about them falling because this grips it very well. And as you can see, the jars are still boiling. Don't worry about it. Just let them sit there overnight, and they will seal if they haven't sealed already. Don't press down on it. You can take a paper towel and absorb the extra moisture if you want to. Okay, so I have another batch to do, but this concludes this video. I hope I shared something with you. My goal is for you to know that you can pressure can and you don't have to worry about them exploding. As long as you wait until, see, hear that ping? It's my favorite sound of canning. Let's see if another one does it. I believe it was this one because you can see there's no indentation. It's not slightly lifted like these are. This one, yeah, all of them. But I'll be, you know, watching television. I can hear that sound go off. Give it 24 hours. It won't take that long for all of them to seal. However, I recommend that you don't bother it. I was going to say something else. Oh, when they have completely sealed, you're going to remove this ring. Don't store it with the ring on it because it makes it so difficult to remove, to open it when it's time for you to eat it. Most people keep things canned for a year. Some people too. I'm not recommending anything. I won't be using these greens until I can't harvest any fresh greens in my garden. So as long as I'm growing something fresh, I'll keep these for when I can't grow any greens, like when it's 100 degrees outside. One more thing, these seals, the ball seals, I think they are manufactured to last 18 months. Some people will use them. I never do. I simply, on here, on this lid, I will put the date that I canned this so I can know what to eat in my pantry first. I will say, however, I have canned something and kept it canned for over a year, over 18 months, 2 years. And right here is a thick cutting board with a towel, and that's what I'm laying the jars on. Okay, guys, I want to give you a little pearl from Cheryl. This canning, pressure canner is very heavy, even when there's no water in it. So what I do is when I finish a batch, I dip the water using this scooper into here and just empty a little bit at a time. Because if I don't, it will hurt my back. And then I scrub around here to get that ring. Remember the ring was up here, but you're gonna have, hear that noise again, that ping? That's another can sealing. This one sealed, this one sealed, this one sealed. These two haven't yet, because you see the little bubble. But when it goes flat, you know it's sealed. But it'll pop and let you know. Anyway, as I was saying over here, so in the bottom of the canner, see if I can pull it up. It has this little stainless steel lift. And that way, when you put your jars in, you won't be putting it directly on the heat, on the fire. So, yeah. Don't strain yourself lifting this big canner loaded with water. Dip it out and take a little bit at a time. Now, if your husband's at home or some of you ladies are really young and you can do this, fine. Lift it. But I'm telling you, I can't do it because it would hurt my back. Okay. All right. So I'm going to hear that ping. Another one of them sealed. I think it was this one. Still boiling. So much fun. Okay, so that really is the end of this video. I'm getting ready to can my second batch. So when I'm filling this up with water, I use a gallon jug. So I won't have to, you know, because I don't have a pot filler in my kitchen. So you want to fill this up until it's just slightly over the lid of each jar. And then you start the process all over again. I don't know how that green got in there. Okay, I'll get that out and then I'll put the top on and bring it to a boil. Right, this concludes my video. We ended up with 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 quarts of spicy mixed greens. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I was able to help somebody in some way. Take care. Thank you for watching, everybody. Bye now.
The end.